The cry on the dust planet, the wind was dry, the sand was red. And the sun above the planet Kiran 7 burned like fire. Captain Ray stepped down from the ship slowly. His boots sank into the hot dust. Around him, the land was empty, dead trees, broken rocks and no sound, just silence. His crew had landed for repairs, nothing more. But what he found was something no one expected. Not far from the ship, a woman sat on her knees. Her clothes were torn, her skin gray and cracked like dry stone. She was not human. Her eyes were large, black, full of pain. In her arms, she held a small child, thin, silent, barely breathing. Ray raised his weapon out of habit. Then he stopped. The alien mother looked up. Her lips moved. Her voice was weak. She spoke in broken galactic common. "Take my life, just feed my son." Ray blinked. He didn't understand at first. He stepped closer. "What did you say?" he asked. The woman tried to speak again. "My life is nothing. But my son, he must eat. Please." Behind him, the other crew members watched from a distance. Some shook their heads. One of them, Sergeant Cole, spoke coldly. "Just a beggar. Leave her. Orders say no contact with alien life. We don't help them." Ray looked back at the woman. Her arms trembled as she held out the boy. The child didn't cry. He was too weak. His eyes were closed. The air was hot. Time seemed to stop. Ray remembered another face. A human child. His own son, who died years ago during the war. Starved, just like this one. No one helped then. He put his weapon down. Quietly, he opened his supply bag and took out a ration bar. Slowly, he knelt and offered it to the woman. Her eyes filled with tears. She took the food and broke it into small pieces, placing them gently in the child's mouth. "Thank you," she whispered. The other soldiers stared. Cole shouted, "Ray, what the hell are you doing?" "That's against code." Ray didn't answer. He took out a second bar. This one he gave to the woman. Her hands shook. But she smiled. It was a small, broken smile, but full of thanks. "She's dying," Ray said quietly. "They both are." "And?" "What?" Cole snapped. "We take them? Bring them back? What if that thing is dangerous? What if they bring disease?" "The council says leave them." Ray looked at him. "And what does it say about being human?" There was no answer. Ray turned back to the woman. "Do you have a name?" She looked at him confused. "Name? Yes, you him." She touched her chest weakly. "I am Mira, my son, Yao." Mira held Yao closer. He made a small sound, barely a whisper. His fingers moved. His eyes opened, large, silver, glowing faintly. Ray was surprised. His eyes, Mira nodded slowly. "He is different. That is why they left us." "Who?" Ray asked. "My people," she said. "They feared him. They ran. Left. US to die." Ray stood up. The sky above was turning dark. A storm was coming. He looked at his ship, then back at the woman and child. He made his choice. "Mira, Yao, come with me." She looked shocked. "You take us?" "Yes, not as cargo. Not as test subjects, as people." Cole stepped forward. "You're risking everything, Ray." Ray didn't care. "Then let it be risk. I already lost a child. I won't lose another." He helped Mira to her feet. She was weak, but she held onto her son tightly. Together, they walked to the ship. The door closed behind them as the wind grew stronger. Inside, the crew watched in silence. Some were angry, some were confused. But no one stopped him. As the ship lifted off, the camera zoomed out to show the red planet growing smaller below. But deep inside the ship, something else grew. A quiet bond between a soldier with a broken heart, a mother with nothing left, and a child who might change the fate of two worlds. The computer voice inside the ship spoke. "Destination, Earth. Unauthorized passengers on board. Ray whispered, "Let them try to stop me." The spaceship was silent. No alarms, no voices. Just the hum of the engine and the soft breathing of two passengers who should not be there. Captain Ray stood alone near the window. Stars passed by like falling sparks. Behind him, in a small medical pod, Mira and her son slept. They were safe for now. But Earth was not far, and rules were closer. Ray opened a secret panel in the wall. He pulled out an old metal badge, ET code 52, no contact, no transport, no exceptions. He looked at it, then crushed it in his hand. Down in the lower deck, a quiet camera turned. A red light blinked once. The ship's AI voice whispered in the control room. Unauthorized life signs detected. Alert. Council authority required. But before the signal could send, someone cut the wire. It was a man in shadows. A friend or a spy. Back in the med bay, Mira woke slowly. Her eyes scanned the smooth silver walls. The ceiling had stars painted on it. Fake, but beautiful. She had never seen art before. Her son, Yal, lay beside her. His small chest rose and fell, stronger than before. The food had helped. But something inside him had changed too. His skin glowed faintly in the dark. Mira whispered, "Yal, you must not show it." The child did not answer. But his eyes, when they opened, were full of light. Captain Ray walked in, holding a water flask and soft cloth. "You're awake." Mira nodded. "This is Earth's ship?" "Yes, mine." "Well," he smiled a little, "used to be." She sat up slowly. "You saved us." Ray looked serious. "I broke the law for you. They'll come for me, and for him." She looked down. "You should have left us." "I couldn't," Ray said. "I saw my son in his face. I lost him years ago. War took everything." Mira touched his arm gently. "War took us too." Silence filled the room for a moment. Then Yal sat up. He pointed at the wall. It began to glow. Bright symbols, like stars, appeared on the metal. Ray stared. "What is that?" Mira's voice trembled. "His mind shows things. He sees what's inside the ship. Sometimes what's inside people." Ray looked uneasy. "Can he see the future?" "Sometimes," she said. "But when he does, bad things happen." In the upper deck, an alarm silently blinked. Someone had found the data trail, an incoming call from Earth's military hub. "Captain Ray, report, you are off protocol. Prepare for docking and investigation." Ray shut the message. His eyes burned with fear and fire. He walked back to Mira. "We can't go to Earth, not yet." "Then where?" she asked. "To a place they don't look anymore." Later that night, as the ship moved into a secret path near Saturn's rings, someone entered the medbay quietly. It was Sergeant Cole, Ray's old teammate. He stared at the alien child in silence. "They say this kid caused his planet to burn," he said flatly. Ray stood between them. "You believe everything they say?" Cole frowned. "I believe in survival and rules." Mira stood too. "Your rules left me dying." Cole turned to Ray. "We're not heroes, Ray. We're soldiers. You want to be a savior now, for a child that may kill us all?" Ray didn't blink. "Then shoot me, because I won't give him up." Cole raised his gun slightly. For a moment, silence. Then Yal's voice came, soft but clear. "Don't hurt him." Suddenly, the gun shook. Cole dropped it. The lights flickered. Every screen in the ship blinked and wrote one word: home. Everyone stared at the child. Mira stepped forward. "He's not evil. He's searching for a home." Ray looked at them both. Then out the window. "There's a place, an old base on Mars, shut down after the last war. No cameras, no scanners. We'll go there." Mira's eyes filled with hope. "And then?" Ray smiled faintly. "Then I give you what no one gave me." A chance. Outside, the stars turned cold and sharp. Behind them, Earth grew larger. But ahead, something else waited. A future, or a fight, maybe both. Darkness moved like smoke in the old Mars base. No lights, no voices, just a deep, cold silence. And something else. Something watching. The base had been abandoned for 10 years. Once used for secret missions during the war, now it was just dust and broken machines. But to Captain Ray, it was the safest place left in the system. No cameras, no patrols, no questions. His ship landed quietly inside the hidden docking bay. Doors opened. Mira held Yal close as they stepped out. The air was cold. The walls were covered with old vines and strange marks, as if something had lived there long after the humans left. Ray led the way with a flashlight. Stay close. No one's been here for a long time, maybe not even us. Yal looked around. He wasn't scared. He stared at the walls like they were speaking to him, and maybe they were. They set up camp inside the old medical unit. Mira cleaned Yal's face with warm water. His silver eyes were quiet, calm, but deep inside him, something had awakened. They could feel the walls breathing. Late that night, Ray heard a sound like a whisper in a tunnel. He followed it, through metal halls, past doors with war symbols. He walked until he reached Biozone 9. The door was rusted, almost shut, but when he touched it, it opened by itself. Inside was a room full of strange light, green walls, cracked tanks and dried alien plants growing from the floor. Ray stepped inside, and then he heard it, a voice. Not from the room. From inside his mind. He doesn't belong to one world. Ray turned around. No one was there. He doesn't just remember, he connects. Ray gasped. Who's there? The light pulsed softly. One of the plants moved. Back at the med unit, Yal sat up. His eyes glowed again. Mira saw it and held him. No, she whispered. Don't use it. But Yal looked straight at the wall and spoke. He found the room, Mama. It's talking to him. Ray stood frozen. Suddenly, the wall in front of him opened, revealing an old hologram system. It blinked to life, even though no power was connected. An image appeared. A face. Not human. Not alien, something in between. Captain Raymond Hawley, it said. You have brought the child, the connector. Ray stepped back. What? How do you know me? What do you mean? The hologram smiled. Long ago, before your war, we studied his kind. Born once in 1,000 years. Their minds link time, memory, emotion, and life itself. They are not just seers, they are bridges. Ray couldn't speak. His throat was dry. You think you saved a child, the voice said. But you may have carried the universe's last hope. Or its end. Suddenly, Ray's communicator beeped. Mira's voice panicked. Ray, come back. Something's happening. He ran through the halls. When he reached the med unit, the door was open. The walls were glowing. Yal floated a few inches above the bed. His eyes were fully white now, and he was whispering. In every language ever spoken. Ray stared. What's happening to him? Mira cried. He touched something inside this base. I told him not to. Yal turned to Ray. His voice was not just one, it was many. I can feel all the people who died here. I can feel your pain too, Ray. Your son, he forgave you. Ray dropped to his knees. No, how do you know that name? Yal slowly came down to the ground. His eyes returned to normal. He walked to Ray and hugged him. Quietly he said, because I see hearts, not just minds. Later that night, Ray sat alone outside the med unit. He stared at the red rocks of Mars. Sergeant Cole walked up and sat beside him. For once, he didn't argue. You were right, Cole said. This isn't normal, Ray nodded. No, it's not. Cole looked at him. What now? Ray answered slowly. Now we protect him. Not just from the council, but from himself. Inside the base, Mira sang an old lullaby to Yal. He was tired but peaceful. But in the corner of the room, behind the metal wall, something recorded every word. A silent drone, hidden deep in the old walls, blinked red, and far away, on Earth. A general smiled. We found him. The alarm didn't scream. It whispered. A soft beep. Then silence. Then a door unlocked itself. Inside the Mars base, while everyone slept, a shadow moved. Not outside. Inside. Sergeant Cole stood in the hallway, staring at a small black box in his palm, an old Earthcom beacon. He wasn't shaking. He wasn't sweating. He had made his choice. "Forgive me, Ray," he whispered, pressing the button. "But this boy is not a child. He's a signal." 100,000 miles away, the Earth Military Council received the ping. Within seconds, they activated a stealth drop pod. No noise, no flame. Just one goal: retrieve the alien boy. Kill all witnesses. Do not fail. Back in the base, Yao woke with a jolt. His eyes flashed silver. He whispered, "They're coming." Ray sat up instantly. "Who?" Yao pointed at the ceiling. "Not from above, from below." Mira grabbed her son. "Ray, what's happening?" Ray didn't answer. His gut already knew. Betrayal. He grabbed his weapon and ran to the main hall. And there, he saw Cole. Cole didn't run. He just stood there and said quietly, "They're already on the way." Ray didn't raise his gun. Not yet. He stepped closer. "Why Cole?" Cole's face was blank. "Because we're not gods, Ray. We don't decide who lives and who becomes a threat to the species. He's a child. He's a bomb," Cole snapped. "He can see minds. He can shut down weapons with a thought. What happens when he grows up and chooses the wrong side?" Ray's voice turned cold. "You sound like them now." Cole stared back. Maybe they were right. Suddenly, the base shook. A metal drill pod smashed through the lower floor. 4 elite soldiers in black exosuits stormed out, silent, fast, armed. Mira screamed and grabbed while Ray shouted, "Run! Go to the tunnels, don't stop." Cole didn't stop them. But he didn't help either. Ray raised his gun at Cole. "I trusted you." Cole looked down. "I didn't betray you. Ray, I saved the future." A blast hit the corridor. Ray jumped, barely dodging. The soldiers were inside now. They weren't here to talk. Ray turned and ran, every hallway now a trap. Mira and Yao reached the old cargo shaft. Yao's hand touched the wall, and the door melted open, like it knew him. They climbed inside. But Mira turned back. "Ray!" she cried. Ray fired at the attackers. One suit fell, sparking. Another grabbed him. Too strong. Ray smashed his helmet, then headbutted him down. But the third one raised a plasma blade, aiming straight for Ray's heart. Before it hit, the blade froze in midair. Yal was standing at the end of the hallway. His eyes were burning white. I said, "Stop." The walls shook. Lights burst. Every weapon in the soldiers' hands turned to dust. Even the air felt heavy, like space itself was afraid. Yal stepped forward. "I don't want to hurt you," he said, "but I will protect them." The soldiers collapsed. Ray stood slowly, breathing hard. He looked at Yal, the small boy glowing like a star, powerful, gentle. Terrifying. Cole stepped out again, limping. He looked at Yal, and for the first time, he looked afraid. "I was wrong," he whispered. Ray didn't say anything. He was staring at his gun, now melted in his own hand, not by heat, but by will. Later, in the med bay, Mira bandaged Ray's arm. "I warned you," she said softly. "He's not meant for one world." Ray looked at Yal, now asleep on the bed. Calm, silent. He asked, "Do you think he's dangerous?" Mira answered, "No, but I think the universe is afraid of what he can become." Far above, the council received the failed mission report. They didn't speak. They just changed the mission name. Status, level black, galactic threat, objective, terminate. No trial. But deep in the Mars base, something else was awakening. Not Yal, not Mira. A machine buried under Biozone 9, old, forgotten, but still alive. It whispered in an ancient voice. The connector has returned. The gate must open again. The dream was not hers. It was his. Mira stood in a field of silver grass, a place she had never seen before. The sky above was not red, not blue. It was alive. Stars moved like birds. Light poured down like soft rain. She heard laughter, Yal's laughter, but it wasn't a child's voice anymore. It was older, wiser, deeper. She turned around and saw her son, grown into a tall figure, glowing like a small sun. His hands were raised. Planets circled around his fingers. Then suddenly, everything burned. His smile turned into fire. The field cracked. The sky screamed. He didn't cry. He just whispered one word. Why didn't you stop me? Mira woke up gasping for air. Ray was sitting near the bed watching her. She grabbed his hand, panicked. He's changing, faster than I thought. Ray looked over at Yal, still asleep. He saved us. He didn't hurt anyone. Not yet, Mira said. Ray frowned. You don't trust your own son? Tears filled Mira's eyes. I trust who he is, not what he's becoming. Outside the room, Sergeant Cole was repairing the wall from the last attack. He had said nothing since the betrayal. But now, as he listened to Mira's words through the half-closed door, his hands began to tremble. Later that day, Yal stood in the biozone, staring at the dead vines. He touched one. It bloomed. Flowers opened. The room turned green with life again, as if time itself bent for him. Ray watched from the shadows, amazed, afraid. He walked up. You okay, kid? Yal nodded. This place remembers things. I can hear them. Hear what? Yal tilted his head. The voices of people who died here. They're not angry. They're lonely. Ray sighed. You're carrying too much. Yal looked at him. You carry pain too. Ray knelt. I carry memory, but you carry fate. That night, Mira stood outside the base, looking up at the stars. She held something in her hand, a tiny silver cube, old Karen tech, hidden in her belt since the day she escaped. Inside it, a command code that could shut down her son's power, or shut him down forever. Ray found her there. What's that? He asked softly. She didn't hide it. A failsafe. Ray stepped back. You'd use that on him? She looked down. If I had to. No, you won't, he said. She didn't shout. She just looked into his eyes. You think love is always kindness. But sometimes, love is choosing who you're willing to lose. Inside, Yal sat cross-legged in the med bay. He already knew. He had seen the cube in her mind. He had seen her fear. He had seen her choice. But still, he whispered, she's not wrong. Suddenly, alarms blinked red. Ray rushed to the console. No ships above us. Cole ran in. They're not coming from space. Ray narrowed his eyes. Then where? The console flickered. A single word appeared. Awakening. Then, the floor below them shook. The gate inside Biozone 9 slid open on its own. A chamber full of ancient tech and one massive locked vault. From behind the vault, a voice echoed, the connector is here. The mother must decide. Yal's eyes widened. It's not from my world. It's older than Karen, older than Earth. Mira's heart stopped. She realized this wasn't about planets anymore. This was interdimensional, and somehow, her son was the key. She turned to Ray. I have to do it. No, he said. You don't have to give him up. She handed him the cube. I'm not giving him up. I'm giving him a chance. She walked to her son. Yal stood still, calm. You're afraid I'll open something we can't close. I'm Afraid someone else will, Mira said. And you won't know how to stop it. She knelt and held his face. You are my heart. But if the stars take you from me, let them take all of me too. Ray watched as Mira stepped into the vault alone. She closed the door behind her. And the bass went silent again. Yal touched the wall. I can't feel her anymore. Ray whispered, his voice breaking. She made her choice. Yal looked up at him. Then we have to make ours. It wasn't a dream, but it wasn't memory either. Yal stood in a place that did not exist, and yet had always existed. A black ocean above his head. Stars below his feet. Time moved sideways here. Backward, forward, inside, out, in front of him floated 3 versions of himself. A crying baby with burning eyes. A child glowing with fear. A future self, calm, dangerous, unreadable. Each one spoke a word in a different voice. Forget. Remember. Choose. He woke up gasping. The walls of the Mars base were shaking again, not from outside force, but from inside time itself. Captain Ray rushed in. Yal, you okay? Yal sat up slowly. Then he looked at Ray with calm eyes that no longer belonged to a child. She's gone, Yal said. Ray froze. What? My mother? She's not in this time anymore, not dead. Just lost between seconds. In the dark chamber behind Biozone 9, Mira's body was missing. The failsafe cube she gave Ray was still glowing, untouched, but the vault walls now carried symbols, ancient and shifting, like they were alive. Ray scanned them. What is this language? Yal answered softly. It's not a language, it's memory. Outside the base, Cole watched the stars. They weren't in the right place. Some were moving, wrong. Too fast. Too close. One star blinked, and he felt it in his bones. Something out there had noticed. Why a lot back in the med bay. Ray sat with Yal. Tell me the truth, Ray said. Who or what are you? Yal looked down at his hands. I don't know who I am, but I know what I remember. And then he began to speak, not like a child, but like a historian of the cosmos. I remember being born, not just once, but many times. I was a scientist in one life, a god in another, a mistake in one galaxy, a miracle in the next. I remember fire, water, silence. I remember stars forming and stars screaming. I remember Earth's end, before it ever began. And I remember you, Ray. Ray's heart skipped. What do you mean? Yal touched his shoulder gently. In one version of time, you killed me. In another, you saved the galaxy. But in this version, you must make a third choice. Suddenly, the base's power system surged. A portal opened inside Biozone 9, a ring of light floating mid-air. Not tech, not magic. It was a memory gate. Yal stood before it. Someone is calling me from the other side, he whispered. Ray held him back. You don't have to go. Yal looked at him gently. I do, because if I don't remember what I really am, others will decide for me. Cole ran in, holding an old Earth data core. He tossed it onto the table. I decrypted the Council's orders. They knew about him before Karen fell. They let the planet burn. Just to trap him. Ray clenched his fists. They used Mira to isolate him. Cole nodded. And now they want to erase him completely. All timelines, all traces. Ray looked at Yal. If you go through that gate, you may never come back. Yal smiled. Or I may come back, knowing how to save all of us. The portal pulsed. Ray knelt and hugged him tightly. If you get lost, Yal whispered, you'll find me. Across every version. He stepped through. Light swallowed him, and in that moment, silence returned. No sound. No power, just stillness, until a voice whispered through the base. The boy who remembers is becoming the one who creates. Far beyond Earth's orbit, inside a council warship, Red lights began flashing. Warning. Temporal breach detected. A general stood up. Activate Project Reset. We can't let him finish remembering. But on the other side of the memory gate, Yao was already walking through stars that hadn't been born yet, through wars that hadn't started yet, and toward a future that only he could decide. He whispered to himself, I remember. Everything now. It started with a heartbeat, but it wasn't inside a body. It was inside the universe. One slow pulse, then another. And with each beat, stars changed direction. Somewhere beyond time, Yao stood in a corridor of mirrors, each one showing a different version of reality. In one, Earth was burning. In another, his mother never survived. In one, he was worshipped like a god. In another, he was alone. Only one mirror showed Ray, holding his hand, not as a soldier, not as a savior, but simply as a father. Yao reached toward that mirror and walked through it. Inside the Mars base, systems powered on again. Ray woke with a jolt, as if someone had whispered his name across the stars. Cole was already at the console. No ships, he said. No signal, just quiet. Ray looked at the memory gate in Biozone 9, still glowing, still waiting. Then, a child's voice echoed down the halls. Ray? Ray turned, and there he was. Yal. The same. But not the same. His eyes no longer glowed, they reflected. They held galaxies inside them, but also a softness that was new. He walked forward slowly. Ray stared. You came back? Yal smiled. I came home. They sat together in the med bay. Yal explained everything, simply like a child, but with weight like a star. The console tried to erase me from every timeline. But you're the constant. Every version where I had hope, you were there, not as a hero. Just a man who didn't walk away. Ray couldn't speak. His eyes were wet. His hands shook. Yal placed his small hand over Ray's. I remember my mother too. She's not gone. She's between seconds. I'll find her. When it's time. Outside the base, a sound rumbled across Mars. The council had arrived. Huge ships, quiet and deadly. Cole ran in. Ray, they're broadcasting. Full assault in minutes. Ray stood slowly. They'll come for him again. Yal looked at him. Calmly, then let them come. Ray blinked. What? Yal stood and walked to the launch pad. The red dust rose around him. He didn't raise a weapon. He raised his memory. As the enemy ships approached, Yal closed his eyes. And whispered, let them see. Suddenly, the sky filled with images, projected straight into the minds of every soldier, every general, every cold-blooded system. The starving mother who begged for her son. The soldier who broke protocol to offer food. The child who never fought, only listened. The future that could be, if mercy replaced fear. Some ships stopped midair. Some turned around. A few dropped their weapons. But one, the command ship, charged its weapon. Ray stood in front of Yal. I won't let them take you. Yal stepped beside him. No, I won't let them take you. The final shot fired, but it never landed, because Mira stepped from the memory gate, arms raised, alive, whole, glowing. I made a choice, she said. And the universe heard it. The blast bent around them, dissolved. And then, silence. Later, the council issued a message to all systems. The entity is no longer classified as a threat. The boy is under protection. Earth will honor the mercy shown. Ray, Mira. And Yal stood at the edge of the Mars base. Yal turned to him and asked, will I always be different? Ray smiled and knelt down. No, you'll always be you. That's better. Yal looked up. So what now? Ray looked out at the stars. Now we give others what you gave me. A reason to hope. And so, the man who once followed orders became the man who gave a home, not just to a child, but to a future.